think as women, we do injustice to ourselves in relationship because we love men from our fantasy point of view. We play part in men not to be honest with who they are. By the time we meet someone, we already told them, this is the kind of man that I want and want. He must be like this. He must do like this. Where else, for you to get a true sense of who this man is and decide if you're going to love him for him is to allow him to be. So when you, by early on, already you have put the rules and everything, you make him to jump into an acting mode because he's gonna give you what you tell him that this is what you want so that he can be with you. You find that you will tell a man that I don't want a man who's got how many a number of kids, and you may find that you say don't want a man who's got more than 2 kids, and then you make that man to lie when he's got more than 2 kids, or else you have to find a way for him to feel free to be honest with you or who he is and his journey. We don't realize with the things that we do that we encourage men to lie, and we have our own idea who men should be. And you find it later when the man is with you, he has tried to be what you say you want, but later he cannot pretend anymore. He becomes something else. When really you want, my opinion is that if you really want to be in a relationship, a pure one, come with a clean slate. Yes, you must have standards and principles of who you are. And standard and principle, someone must see them, not to be told. The telling may come later, but he must see the way you carry yourself and who you are as a woman. But we come with the scriptures or in constitution that we read it to this man so early on before we even get to know each other. You don't give yourself for this man to know you and you to know him. You come already with the scripture, with a formula that this is how things should be and this is how things should flow. And this is where this must be placed, that must be placed. You will never get to know that man for who he is. And you will never be vulnerable for him to be honest with you because already you come telling him, I want you to be like this and that. This is what I want. If you are not this and that, I'm not going to be with you. Where else? And then it forces men to lie. I'm not saying lower your standards. I hope I'm articulating myself in a clear way. I'm not saying lower your standard. I'm not saying accept everything. I said we do injustice to ourselves when we come with a script and a formula on how things should be done and when, by when. And we don't realize that. And we will walk around thinking that men are not fair and all that. But we don't give them opportunity to be themselves and to love them for who they are. You know, it's so beautiful to love somebody for who they are. Not from the idea, not from the fantasy that you have. From when you see them for who they are. And they are putting themselves on the vulnerable plate for you to see them on the open ground. And there are no roles which are being played. But we come into a relationship and we force people to play roles. And when a man says, you know what, I don't have the capability to jump and be fast like a jaguar, you as a woman will be saying, no, I know you have the capacity, you are a cat, but you have the capacity to jump like a jaguar. But this man is telling you that I'm not a jaguar, I'm a cat, and I'm okay being a cat. And you get frustrated in the relationship because you want this man to be who he is not. You want him to act out of character for who he's not. And hence it's so important that we ask important questions. As women, we must ask important questions. You must ask your person. Don't assume this person is monogamous. That applies to women also. Ask those questions. Are you monogamous? Are you polygamist? What is your and don't ask with a judgment already. Ask being open-minded for the person to open up. That's the way you find when a person has done something you faint because you can't believe it. And everybody's like, but this is who the person is. So some of the things I feel that the failure of relationships as women, we contribute to it by forcing men to play a character that they're not. Because we don't want to love them from their point of who they are and who they are becoming, if they're evolving. That's why you can find a person who's evolving and they've done certain things and everybody says they've done certain things, but you have seen a different person from what people are saying. Because you allowed them to be themselves and you met them at the point where they were also evolving themselves. And we have this perception and notion that people don't change. If people don't change, it means you also don't change, which means you also don't get better. You don't upgrade. You don't evolve. You don't get informed. People change if they want to change. And people change when they see the need to change. And people change when they feel that they cannot lose what they stand to lose. So we sometimes, you know, we need to learn. We need to learn from those people who you find that we take them for granted or we think those are drunkards or whatever. Because you find that they accept themselves as they are. They know each other's weaknesses and all that. There is no role playing. But when you are coming with a Cinderella script, you'll be hurt. And not because you're not a good person or whatever. But people get tired of role playing. Even the actors, they get tired of role playing. When they leave that set, they need to detach themselves from the acting persona that they were acting. Or apply mechanism to detach themselves from that.